My Get Up and Go on SAFM. Influential people doing well in their respective fields.
These are the people who might turn your life around. If you listen good, if you follow in their footsteps, or if you emulate them, or you just try out whatever advice they give you, they get it going for you. George Benson on SFM, turn your life and your love around, because then I can be your baby tonight. There's the chairman of the TM group, Teboho Mafodi. Debs, happy Monday. Good morning this morning.
Good morning, how are you, Domingos?
I should be asking you, my brother, because you had to wake up. We've been...
No, good, thanks. And I was actually listening to the song you're playing. It's quite a good song. I know the house version of it. I'm actually hearing that one for the very first time, eh?
Really?
I promise you.
Yeah, judging by the kind of shoes you wear, I can see that you can give a very good account of yourself on the dance floor.
Yeah, no. They say you must always value what carries you. So I think growing up in poverty with shoes that had holes underneath, that's why one of the things that I value, shoes that carry me today.
I saw that day, yeah. When they say shoes say a lot about you, you make that statement very true.
No, definitely.
Good to have you. What's the first thing you did when you woke up this morning, Brother?
The first thing that I do when I wake up, Mandla, is I meditate. I pray, I meditate, because I've realized that it really gives me that pick me up. Luckily, you have a pick me up song. So being a spiritual being, I think that helps me to actually outline my day and what I need to do, and most importantly, command. Some of these things they say we must speak them into existence. So for me, it gives me that edge to really prepare my day better.
I like the meditation part. Do you have a particular song, or you just meditate, just get into your zen and move from there?
No, I don't have a particular song. Unfortunately, I've learned to meditate in silence, because I get easily distracted sometimes. So it helps me be in the zone. That's why my phone has to be off and everything else, and I just focus.
Wow, for a successful man like you, getting easily distracted. Yeah.
Yeah, no. I mean, in the context, it's like when I'm working, when I'm really in my zone, most of my creative juices flow in the morning. So you'd find that I'd struggle put together a proposal at night, but in the morning, that's when I wake up for it. I actually prefer waking in the dark, strange enough. I'd switch off, the lights, or even close the curtains. Even with my office, I've put on these blinds so that when you close them, they actually become dark. So I've realized for me that really helps me think, because it tricks the mind to thinking that it's at night or whatsoever. Then I'm able to focus better. I don't know, it's a strange thing that I do.
I've seen one or two people do that, and I wasn't sure how to pose the question as to why you work in the dark. Woody Rambo.
No. I think it works magic. Obviously, I grew up Kumkukung, so most of the time I would be studying and using a candle, and it would be dark for some odd reason. I don't know, it helped program my mind or something. Even when I was studying, I graduated at UCT about 2 months back.
Congratulations. Well done.
No, thank you very much. So I actually had a torch that I would be using to study. So it's because I would not see anything else but the book or whatever screen that's in front of me. So it really helps.
Wow. You graduated in what, Brad?
I graduated in advanced property management.
As an
yes.
Do you still practice as an IT guru, or you've kind of given that responsibility to someone younger that you're developing in the process?
No. What happened is that in 2012, I sold my IT business. We sold it to an American business. That's how we actually came about now having offices in California. I actually was there for the last 3 weeks. I just came back on Tuesday. So I'm still serving the restriction of trade that is falling off this year. So I'm chances are I'd probably go back beginning of the year next year. So I couldn't no longer trade. That's obviously for me, it required me to expand into other industries of business. It was the question of what else can I expand with. But obviously, I've always been fascinated by construction and buildings, and to say, how does this particular architect, how do they actually do this? And for me, that's obviously became the next choice of business. That, you know what, by God's grace, we managed to do well in it. I mean, today, we're not only into infrastructure, but we're into property, and we're now developing ourselves to be a fund that actually funds township development. Because you realize that growing from a township, ordinary people like me and you, you know, we see these developments taking place in the township, but really, how many of us are involved in them?
Yeah.
It's actually a few. Do you understand? And I've realized that it's industry dictating to us, people of the township, what do we need and how we need it, and what would work. And half of us, we are told to be grateful because this mall is going to create jobs for us. This, whatever, is going to create jobs. But who is it actually creating wealth for? Sometimes you find it's people that have never lived in the township. So that's why, obviously, for me, I said, no, it's a problem. As a country, we really need to apologize to the township. That's why, obviously, for me to say, you know what, we want to expand ourselves to be a fund that actually looks after, you know, township development as a whole and giving opportunity to ordinary people. Why can't the mamas be owning the mall? Why can't the ordinary people be the one that are owning that petrol station or doing this and that, do you understand? So it's a problem, and because we do not have collateral, and two, we do not have, you know, that unencumbered fund, it makes it difficult for them to participate in the mainstream, you know, economy or economic activities in the township. Regulatory stuff as well makes some of these things difficult. Yeah.
You know, there's something you said about mentorship that I find quite interesting. I know that Obras Zibusisi Mkhwana is a man who holds a special place in your heart.
Oh, very much so.
And,
Very much so.
And what I find interesting is when you say the lessons you will learn from a mentor are invaluable. Why learn from your own mistakes when you can learn from someone who has already walked the hard road?
No. It's definitely true. I mean, it's very true. That man has really changed my life, and I think as well it's in the thinking of the mentor. I think for me that is more especially valuable and priceless. Because for me, there's a couple of things that he asked me that changed my life. The key one for me is that he asked me to say, "What is it that you want?" And I said to him, "I want to be a millionaire by the age of 35." But let me tell you, I didn't know a millionaire doing what. And he looked at me strange and he said to me, why do you want to be a millionaire then when you could be a millionaire now? Okay? And at the time I was a mere 21, 22-year-old coming from the township. We do not talk like that. So for me it was a strange language to start with. So, and I mean, look at it's actually only this year, 31st of December, that I'm turning 35. I've not been 35. So technically I've been living over the last 10 years of my life as a millionaire. You know, because I got to make that at 23 years of age. So it's something that you understand that from a mentality point of view, and he triggered something in me that I never knew existed. So, and for me, it really gave me a different perspective to life. And he says to me, I will teach you how to become a millionaire, but firstly, you'll have to serve me, and I will have to teach you my God. And listen to me. No, I go to church. I grew up in the Roman Catholic. I was an altar server at church. He says, no. You know, there's a difference there. You know, that's why I got to understand the importance of spirituality, especially in this life. Because you go out there, Bramilos, people are not sleeping. Do you know that?
Oh, yes.
You know, and I've understood one thing, that money is a spirit, you know, and it's a spirit that you know, money follows what you echo. I was raised by a grandfather who believed or rather a house that has a lot of noise, shouting, fights, and everything else. Money doesn't stay; it always goes out. So you know, you see some of these small lessons that you learn, and these are some of the things we do not understand. To say it's important how you influence the energy around you, so that when you go out there chases money, you're able to attract the very same thing that you're chasing.
Yeah.
And these are the things we never taught at school. So it changed perspective for me to understand these things from a spiritual point of view first, before you go out there in the physical. Yeah, because there you're competing with people that are doing rituals, you're competing with people that are doing any other thing. That might even conflict who you are.
Yeah, you've got to find yourself.
It's important that you find yourself.
Well, I'm glad you were prevented from postponing making your first million.
No. I definitely am. Sure, it was really life saving, and for me, it gave me an entire plan to say if ever I could be a millionaire by the age of 21, by 27, and get married from 30th going on and build wealth. Do you understand? And for me, it has really been that journey. That is humbling. Unfortunately, I'm not married, but then I'm still on the wealth process. So I will get there. Maybe we'll get to have a family one day.
I'm sure your Twitter account must be going crazy. People saying, Debs, if you get lost, come over here.
Yeah, no, that one is humbling. I think for me, the humbling part is that I've always read and watched trans babies.
Yeah.
Yes, and right now, having to have trans babies myself. And it's simple thing that, a child could actually, like, I'll make an example. My child is a taxpayer, has got a tax number. And these are the things that, for me, I've never imagined that they're possible. And I think it's a discussion we need to have some other time, Bramidros. Asset protection. And sometimes we tend to think that asset protections are as it's something for people with wealth and whatsoever. And simple thing, me and you right now, you are working. Do you know the minute something happens to you, your wife will even withdraw 10 rands? Do you understand? So right now, how do we get ordinary people to own nothing but control everything? Do you understand? So, and in terms of, from an asset protection point of view, but doing so legally, these are the things that we do not understand. And the problem is that as we are obsessed with ownership, you want to have everything in your name, you want to do this and this and that. That's why the minute you get indebted or you get insolvent or anything happens to you, the very same thing you're trying to build starts crumbling down.
It's Monday, man. It's a holiday. Why you say such sobering things so early in the morning?
No, it's true. These are the real conversations that we have, and people are shy from having these conversations.
Yes.
And right now, you find there's saying, my father was working hard, was a wealthy rich man, but right now there's a problem of deceased estate. To dissolve that estate, somebody needs to come in. And right now, 20%, to 30% of your estate is going to somebody else. That's going to dissolve that. You could imagine, let's say hypothetically speaking, you're worth 10 million.
Right.
10% of that, it means it's a million. It's actually 2 million that is going to someone.
Yeah.
So if you worth $1 million, do you understand? So it means, 100,000 or 200,000 of that is going to someone. Do you understand that much money could make a huge difference for your kids right now?
Yeesh, that is rough, man. Yeesh.
So that's why right now, how do we put together living structure so that anything happens to you, the family continues to live? And stop insuring yourself. And let's get assets to insure you. How do we get your investment assets around you, and be the one that finances your lifestyle? People are seeing you now changing your car or this and this. Listen to Botumus. Don't look at him driving this car. He's probably into so much debt. But if ever you probably have an asset or you've got a property or you've got a unit that's paying for that car, it's not coming from your pocket.
But Debs, obviously, you are, I need my aspirin, but it's okay. I'll come to you for some assortment.
No, it's okay. I'm here, promise.
You are in the construction business, and of course, as you were saying earlier on, that you are trying, among other things, you are developing townships, and you're helping people within townships to get into business with you and grow those that particularly who are looking at construction, property investment, and all of that. And I see there a little bit. It tells me that in 2 days' time, you have a fantastic summit where you will be teaching people who are interested in this business space.
No, definitely. That's what we're doing. The focus it's actually on 4 things. 1, it's construction. 2, it's property. 3, it's franchising. And 4, it's financial services. So these are the 4 key strategic industries that I've realized that within the township are the most key ones. And banks are making money in the townships or loan sharks or whatsoever. then from a franchise point of view, how many ordinary people could start franchises? Do you understand? Or even buy one. To start with, for you to even entertain that conversation, you need to have an unencumbered fund. It means money you do not touch in your account, and some of these franchises are way expensive. And from the property point of view, we see banks, we see malls, we see all of these things that are taking place in the township. Who are they renting those properties from? Who are they leasing from? Or who are they even buying those land for? Do you understand? So, and these are the things that I've realized that, the people are struggling with, and these are the key industries that are driving economic development in the township. And we do not have these conversations. That's why, obviously, being in the industry, there's a lot of industry champions that I know and organizations that we've invited to say, let's tell ordinary people. Do you understand? I know that right now the target, it might be 500 people, but we're targeting 10 people. Do you understand? So, and obviously with that, I've gone to an extent of launching a development program where I'm going to be taking up students. We're welcoming them actually in the next 2 days, 32 students. We're taking them over 12 weeks program where we're getting into things of how they could really transform their life or participate in this mainstream economic activity that is taking place in the township. Because these are the things that people are not talking about. These are the things that people are not aware of. Do you understand? But yet, when we're sitting sometimes with your friends or alone, you see these things, they bother you, but who do you ask?
Indeed.
Yes.
Indeed. Also, I mean, looking at the lineup of the summit, these are some of the business opportunities that probably people have heard about them in passing and have never really looked at them deeply. And for many, probably it's going to be for the first time.
No, definitely. That's why we're bringing all that to say something that I've decided I want to do it annually, and I want to do it across the country, so that we really try to really influence and making a difference. So that's why obviously we're having it on the 19th at Beachwood Hotel. It's actually a 3 days, ideas festival on the day one. That's why we're discussing all of those things. Then day 2, and day 3, it's more like a pitching boost. So people are going to be pitching their businesses and their ideas. We're giving away 2 million worth of prizes across different industries and different businesses. People that want to do exciting ideas, and we're giving that out as grant money, so that they do not have to pay back to kickstart some of their business or some of these ideas that they come up with.
I still love your idea about using other people's money to finance your home. I mean, the story you told about your pay slip is a fascinating story. And looking at how little the amount of money people need to have to be able to start owning property. That, I think, is something that you need to do on a larger scale, because, I mean, obviously housing is still a big problem in the country.
It's a huge problem. It's a very huge problem, and right now, obviously, people think that you need a lot of money to actually be earning property. And the simple thing, this weekend was a long weekend. How much did people spend? Do you understand? And whereas within year 2005, within year 30,000, it could actually be the minimum of you getting into property. And most importantly as well, people do not know that even this year with the president in Parliament spoke about a second fund that is coming. Do you understand? And that is a grant fund that helps first-time buyers to actually buy into property. So people are not aware that government can give you up to 122,000 free money, under the FLIS program for you to be able to assist you or to form part of your payment in terms of buying a house. You could imagine buying a house for 450 or for 400, and government gives you 122,000 free money. That's a huge difference on your bond. I mean, that's like 5 years worth of payment that you're getting ahead upfront. So these are the things that people are not aware of, and we should really need to own property. Because even a simple thing, when you want to get into franchise, you could use that very same property to leverage. when they said to you, we need a 2 million unencumbered fund, you want to buy this particular franchise. If you've got a property or two, they're able to evaluate those properties. You might not have that 2 million from a cash point of view, but you have that 2 million from an asset point of view, because property doesn't depreciate, it appreciates.
Yeah.
So these are the things that people are not aware of.
Yeah.
Leveraging.
Diaz. Yeah. Diaz. I promise you, Diaz. So, how do people book for the summit?
Okay, people go to tcpsummit.co.za, tcpsummit.co.za. They're able to register there for the summit, and then they're able to come and attend, obviously, because being the day one of the Ideas Festival, we'll be able to break out what's going to be happening in the next 2 days. Then on the 21st, obviously, it's the gala dinner, where we definitely going to be honoring and giving away that 2 million to different entrepreneurs. I think in July or August, Bermudas, I'll personally send you an invite where I'm having a Legends dinner. At the Legends dinner, I'm honoring the likes of Richard Mabonya, Mike Nguna, and many other legends that have opened up the pathway for us to actually get into this entrepreneurship space. Just appreciate them while they're still alive. So say, we see you, and we're following in your footsteps. So that one, I'll personally send you an invite. That one, it needs people like me and you on that particular dinner.
I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking forward to just do a walkabout of the properties that the TM Group has put up. I saw some beautiful homes, people, watching their homes take shape. Which was
definitely.
So breathtaking to watch.
Yes, no, it's definitely. I mean, we started in homes. So right now it's buildings, do you understand? So it's actually amazing. The next phase of our life now, we want to do estates. You could imagine now having an estate with a street on your name, or Mindlos Avenue, or Mindlos Crescent. And these are the things that are, for me, I've always dreamed about, because growing up, I wanted to build my mother's house. But little did I know that today I'll be giving many other people homes. So it's really humbling that, and it's something that, people could start even doing on a part-time basis. You could start small while you're working there, or you're working in your own job. These are the things that really, that humbles me with this journey, that property really is the key thing. That's why you see that some of the wealthiest people in the world, they actually invested in property.
True that.
Yeah.
But I wish we had more time, but we have the summit, the Construction and Property Summit, Birchwood Executive Hotel, starting on the 19th. It runs for 3 days. So to book, it's at tcpsummit.co.za, and go and learn. There's an opportunity to learn, to network, and to get that idea finally taking shape. Brett Debza, we will talk. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for doing what you're doing. We need we need people like you who are paying forward in our own areas.
Yes, definitely. Thanks a lot, Mindlos, for the opportunity, and for the time. Most important is the lovely chat. Looking forward to being in studio next time, and we get to unpack some of the things more.
Awesome, belief.
Yes, we'll definitely do that.
Can you
it's
a
a promise I
somewhere
give you.
there?
No, definitely. It's a promise I give you. We'll definitely share it.
Fantastic. Bratebza, have a fabulous day. And keep on keeping on. Power to your hands.
No, much appreciated, my brother. You have a good one yourself, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's the chairman of the TM Group, Teboho Mafodi there. So once again, tcpsummit.co.za, you'll meet him and many others in the business. They can teach you a thing or two, and you can be on your way to really owning that business, that property, and also being a developer, if that's what you're dreaming about.
My Get Up and Go on SAFM. Influential people doing well in their respective fields.